started off like my skincare routine of the look. I been in the big habit of spraying my face with water spray, not just lately, I think I've been doing this for a good while. I think one thing that's important to know about skin is that, I mean, skin can obviously get too dry and it can obviously get too oily, but one thing you can never get enough of is water. It can always take more water. So I don't think you have to necessarily be dehydrated to like want to feed your skin as much you know, as much water basically, and hydrate it as much as possible. So that's why I love to spray it with this kind of thing, which is the Avene thermal spray. Vichy do one similar, so does it's like the MAC Fix Plus as well, just to really drench your face in water, because the whole point of moisturizer as well is to keep moisture locked into the skin. So if your skin is like completely deprived of water in the first place, there's not really anything to lock into the skin. So that's why I love to use these kind of sprays. And then my kind of moisturizer of choice lately, which I've already put on, is the Vichy, it's too glary to pick up I think, but it's the Vichy Aquilia Thermal UV Moisturizer, I suppose. This is the packet, sorry it's so glary. But this one I really like. It's like a water in silicone based kind of moisturizer, so the silicone really helps keep the water in on your skin. It's the silicone products, they don't affect my skin. Some people seem to think that they're, you know, really bad for the skin or whatever. Some people will just be sensitive to silicone. It's just the nature of things, but not everyone. So give it a go, and you're either sensitive to it or you're not. And if you're not, go ahead and use it. I personally find it doesn't cause spots, and I haven't come across that in my own experience. So I'm more than happy to use it, and this is a really, really nice moisturizer. It's slightly, I think it's a little bit more on the pricey side. It's like well up into the 20 euro, 20 something euro, but that's in Ireland and everything is expensive in Ireland. But I like this as well because it has UVB and UVA protection, which is always a plus. So love this. And a Vichy eye cream at the moment. This is the Lift Active Retinol HAI cream, because as a lot of you would know, retinol really is the only thing, which is also like vitamin A, is the only thing really that's going to do any good to any damage that your skin has already got, like any fine lines or whatever. This will actually help, you know, mend those, or mend that skin or whatever. It's the only really proven thing to help with anti-aging at the moment. More than prevention, this is actually more of like, you know, almost like a cure. So this is something that I'm loving. Okay, so now that I have that base down, what let me just pin my hair back. Okay, so I bought this Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, which is the bronzing makeup base. I saw Lisa Eldridge use it in a recent tutorial, one where it was her like daily like pretty summer tutorial or whatever it's called, and it's this guy here. It's a beautiful coloured bronzing. I call it kind of like a cake, but it's like a mousse cake. It's a beautiful kind of golden brown colour, if you can see that there. It's not at all like too red or too orange, and it's like, I'd say there's a hint, like the tiniest hint of, not really sparkle, but there's like a gold sheen to it, which is really, really nice. And I've seen a lot of people raving about this. I know Carly of Glitter Dolls 07 loves this as well. So I was dying to try this out. Now I did put this on my face the last day, and I put it all over my face. Like pretty much to cover the whole face all the way down to my neck, up to where my top came to, if you know what I mean. And it made me definitely several shades darker. I looked, you know, like I had a bit of a tan or whatever, which was, and it actually was lovely, but I don't really want to go that dark. I don't want to change my whole face, and because my hand would be a different colour as well, and I don't wear fake tan, so, but it can be used for that and it works really well. So I'm just going to put that on the contours of my face. I'm using the Sigma Angled Top Kabuki. It works really well with these kind of just Kabuki kind of brushes, so you can really buff it out. I'm just kind of doing the contour of my face. Also make sure you work these well into the hairline as well, if you are going to use it. Just creates a bit more dimension. And again, this is silicone based, so I kind of tend to like to use silicone products together if I am using them. I personally, like I said, I'm a fan of silicone products, and the reason being is because I really find that it helps eliminate shine. So I don't know if I've told you this before, but I'm really not a fan of using powders, like face powders on my face. I mean, I love like my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish or whatever, but in general, if I can avoid powders, I would love to, because it regardless of how great it is, it's still a powder on your skin. Though saying that now, my friend Orla used she used the Laura Mercier loose powder at her wedding the last day, and it was just gorgeous on her skin. So I think that's something I want to kind of give a go to and try out. But yeah, in general, regardless of how gorgeous the powder is, I do try to avoid them or just like use as little as possible. So I'm just using this to give a hint of colour and more like dimension to my face. Obviously if you're using this on like clients or whatever, get a clean brush and get a load of it and pop it onto the back of your hand, as you saw like Lisa Eldridge doing in her video, and then work from the back of your hand, so you're not constantly dipping into the cake, because these are the kind of ones that are hard to keep sanitary. So work off the back of your hand so you're not kind of putting germs back into there. Now next I'm just going to pop a little bit of a mattifying primer. Again, this will have silicone in it. So I'm going to pop this just down the centre of my face, more like the T-zone. That's where I get most shiny, is definitely around my nose area and either side of my nose, like just here and here. So if I use this kind of primer, it helps kind of put off the shine coming through. It will generally happen eventually, but not to as much of an extent, and it'll definitely happen a lot like later on in the day, if you know what I mean, if I use this. So just to use it where you need it. Also, I see some people and they pop primer everywhere, like all over their face, and it's so unnecessary. It's a waste of product, and it's not going to do anything to the areas of the face, say that, like, I mean this particular one, the anti-shine one, it's not really going to do much to an area that doesn't shine anyhow, if you know what I mean, unless you're using like one of those more generic primers that are there to like really hold on to the makeup and keep it in place and you know, help with the slip on it, where this would a little bit, but use this mainly for what it's for, which is the anti-shine. So next, now that I have that little bit on, I don't want this to be like a foundation heavy look, that's why I've kind of used that bronzing makeup base initially, just to give a bit of a colour. So for the rest of the face now, I'm just going to mainly just kind of conceal where needed. So I picked up this Collection 2000 16 Hour Wear Lasting Perfection concealer. This guy here, I saw Pixie Woo and Pixie 2 Woo going on about it, and this is in the colour number 2 light. It comes in 4 shades. There's like one fair, which is very, very fair. I'm talking like more like NW10 kind of fair. So maybe more like my little sister, or maybe before she got a bit of a colour, but yeah, so that's very fair and slightly more, well, it is more pink tone. Now this again is a little bit pink tone as well, but I'd use this for under my eye area. I wouldn't really use this for my face because it wouldn't be the right shade, but I'm just going to pop this underneath the eye area and use my finger to just blot it in place. And this really is such a nice concealer. You can see how bright it just makes that area immediately. I'm actually much more impressed with this product than I thought it would be. I've had some Collection 2000 stuff before, and I have a good few of their bits, and I do like their bits, but I've always been put off getting any of their like base makeups, like the foundations or the concealers. I generally tend to like to spend a little bit more on those. Not saying that this isn't the cheapest in the world. It was at least €4 or €5, I'm nearly sure, in Boots, but it's way more impressive like than I kind of assumed it would be. So that's why I was really interested to check it out when I saw a few people going on about it on the internet. So yeah, there you go. You can see that really brightened up my eye area. Now because I have so many dark freckles and stuff on my nose and cheeks, I find this looks almost too bright until I tone them down a wee bit. So I'd almost use a darker concealer, like darker than I'd need to if I'm not kind of concealing my freckles a wee bit. Just because, I mean, they're so brown in general that it kind of looks a little bit off balance. So I'm going to use my Sedona Lace Sheer Concealer Palette. And this is the colour I've been using out of it, which is on the top row, second from the left. And I'm just going to get a wee bit onto the back of my hand first. I kind of always like to warm these colours on the back of my hand first, these kind of slightly thicker concealers. And then just going to use my finger as well. I used to hate using my fingers for applying makeup up until, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. I mean, I used to think it was just the grossest thing in the world, the idea of, like, I'm not a fan of touching my face anyhow. I have this weird thing about other people touching my face, but I've just really come around. You can see there now that I've toned down my freckles a wee bit. It's looking much more even. And I just want to pop a little bit where I'm red on my chin. I'm just going to get a tiny bit more. And stick it on any little blemishes I have. And then that's pretty much it. I'll try and leave it powder free if I can. You know, if I'm just not really doing anything too strenuous or that's going to make me like sweat, or you know, if I'm not having a particularly shiny day, I'll usually go powder free. What I have been using, of course, then if I do wear powder, is my Mineralized Skin Finish and Natural in light, just down the T-zone, or something like the e.l.f. high definition powder. I think this is fantastic for taking away shine, and you need the tiniest bit. I don't think people realise how little of this type of product, these silica based powders, that you need to apply to take away shine. It just needs the tiniest dusting of it on the face, and it really makes a massive difference. So I love this. But yeah, that's kind of my my everyday kind of makeup face routine. Like I said, I don't really like to wear too much foundation if I can get away with it. On nights out I probably wear a little bit more, but during the day this is pretty much as far as I go. So I hope this was helpful, and thanks a million for watching, and I'll talk to you again really soon for another video, guys. So long.